this is Sarah Rudolph with Vital Life Physical Therapy in Longview, Texas. Today I'm going to give you some tips and pointers if you're somebody who has found yourself having to sit a lot more than usual, or if you're just somebody who does already have to sit many hours a day in your work situation. So one of the things I want to first talk about is a lumbar support, and this can be something as simple as a rolled up towel. What this does is it's going to help you keep your neutral spine when you are sitting. So many times when we are sitting for long periods of time, we forget about working on keeping a nice straight back, and we slouch and our back becomes rounded, and this can put a lot of pressure on those lumbar discs. If you have any kind of a herniation or something, it will definitely make it worse and can cause you some pain. So using something as simple as a rolled up towel placed between you and your seat back can give you that little bit of support to help keep your back in a more neutral position and take the pressure off of those discs and joints. You can also purchase a lumbar support, but something like this is simple and you usually have these around the house. My second tip for you if you're having to do a lot of sitting, particularly if you sit a lot for your job or at your home office, is to invest in something like a kneeling chair, which I have over here. So in your kneeling chair, what's really great about this is that the weight is also transferred down onto your shins, and then also it helps to keep that neutral spine that we just spoke about. And because there's no backrest, it really helps you to work your core muscles and really engage the muscles here in next to the spine. So a kneeling chair would be a great alternative that you could possibly switch out with your regular chair, or if you tend to sit on a dining chair and use a couple of hours in one chair and then a couple of hours in another chair. So I've been very happy with my investment in a kneeling chair for my home office. Another simple switch out would be something like this seating disc, which you see right here. So this is filled with air. It does have two different sides to it. And you can just place the kneeling disc in your seat, whether you're sitting on an office chair or a dining chair. And what that does is it once again brings a dynamic surface underneath you. And so it helps you to keep your core muscles engaged and turned on. And it's a little more difficult to maintain that slouched position when you're sitting on something dynamic like this seating disc. So these are also very, very affordable, and you can find them online, and a great alternative to just sitting still all the time. And kids love these as well. So then the third thing that you could maybe do would be to use a ball, something like this. So you can get these physio balls in different sizes. I would recommend a slightly bigger one if you are going to be sitting on it at a desk. This does take up a little bit more space, and you will have to use your legs to stabilize it. But once again, sitting on this is a dynamic surface, helps to keep those postural muscles engaged, and also the movement helps to just relieve pressure on your discs. Now you can also buy stands for these, and so you can then have the benefit of it not moving, but then you have the ball surface underneath you. So now we come to a couple more tips that I have, and one is that you should always try to sit evenly on both of your sitting bones. Now if you are a parent doing homeschooling with a child, you may find yourself sitting next to the child and tending to lean over onto one side. And so this can definitely cause some pressure on the discs and joints in your spine. So you'll want to really try to make sure that you're sitting evenly on both sitting bones as much of the time as possible. And then another thing you might want to do is to keep your feet flat. So in this position, I actually have a little step stool under my feet, and that helps to keep my knees and my hips at a 90-degree position. So particularly if you are somebody with slightly shorter legs and your feet do not touch the floor nicely, you may want to put a step stool or a box or something underneath your feet to elevate them and keep that nice 90 degrees at the knee and at the hip for optimal position of your spine. If you are sitting for long periods of time, you may want to set a timer and make sure that you take a break at least every 45 minutes. So this can be something as simple as just getting up, maybe doing a couple of gentle back stretches, taking a walk around your house, or maybe just a walk around your yard, anything to just get you out of that sitting position. And what's great about walking around for 5 minutes or so is that the walking actually helps to hydrate those discs between your vertebrae in your spine. They tend to become sort of flattened out and dehydrated, as it were, when we're sitting for long periods of time. So then when you stand up and you walk around, you're hydrating those discs and you're giving them nourishment. So it can help to keep your discs healthy. And then what else, if there was somewhere that you could stand? Maybe if you had a kitchen island, a butcher block area in your kitchen, or if you have a counter area that's raised up, could you do some of your work there? Or once again, if you're doing homeschooling with your child, could you have your child sit in a bar stool and do their work at that higher surface? And then you as a parent could stand up next to the child. So that once again, it alleviates you of having to be in the seated position all the time. Many people don't have the ability to have a sit-stand desk at home, maybe at work. So this is a great alternative if you don't have a sit-stand desk. So now I want to move on to solutions if you already do suffer from a little bit of back pain from having to sit more than you are used to. And I would like to just suggest that you can unload your back with an inversion position. So what is an inversion position? Well, the ultimate inversion would be to be upside down, which you could do with an inversion table. But you could also do something as simple just as lying down on your back. You can do this on your bed or on the floor. And you would want to put a pillow or two underneath your hips. And this will elevate your hips to be higher than your shoulders. And that really helps to alleviate the pressure on your spine and on your discs. And one more step up from that would be to lie on the floor with your lower legs up on a chair to where your knees and your hips are again at 90 degrees. And that helps to unload your spine even more. So this is a great position to adopt for 5 or 10 minutes if you have been experiencing that back pain from increased sitting. And then the last piece of advice I have for you, if you have had some back problems from sitting and you're feeling stiff and achy, would definitely be to perform some back mobility exercises and to avail yourself of some core strengthening exercises. So a great back mobility exercise would be lying on your back and rocking your knees side to side. There are several other ones that you can do, and I would encourage you to look at my YouTube channel, Vital Life Physical Therapy, where I have several other videos available where you can learn more about back mobility exercises, as well as some exercises that you can do to help strengthen your core muscles, which will give you better support when you are having to sit for long periods of time. So I hope you found these tips helpful if you're somebody who does have to do a lot of sitting. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below, or you can email me at the email address provided.